Hey everyone, I'm Lente. I'm on my boat and it's a mess, but I just came here to record in peace. Anyway, I made a pretty water shader. I added multiple boats.
This, as you already know, is Lente, and earlier this year she released Spilled, a cozy sea cleanup game that has well over 2,000 reviews on Steam and a rating of very positive. I loved Spilled, I couldn't put it down and beat it in one sitting of around an hour, well worth the $6 asking price. But it wasn't until after I completed it that the lads on our crew mentioned that the developer was a woman living on a houseboat in the Netherlands. Considering most of the people we talk to are developing games in offices or their bedrooms, this was pretty exciting. So obviously I had to call her up to learn more about her life, her game, and the process of making a game about boats while living on a boat.
Yes, I grew up on a ship. My parents bought one in 1995. I have my own boat now that I live on because my boat's smaller. I do take it out. Last year summer, so 2024, I spent like a few months away from home, so that's nice. But back then, when I lived with my parents on the ship, it was just in one place. The engine didn't even work. And that's very common. Like all those boats in Amsterdam that people live on, usually a lot of them are even just connected to the mainland. Like they will have running water, pipes and stuff, so you can't really move that easily. Not all of them, but most of them, I would say. It's not as common as living in a house, but you know, the canals in Amsterdam, for instance, like there's a lot of boats and also a lot of families and stuff. And then there's a lot of people like me, younger people that are just starting out or they're students that decide to buy a small boat to live on. You kind of need to know your way around some stuff, but if you can manage, it can be a really freeing way to exist during studies or whatever and not, you know, either be living with your parents still or paying a lot for rent. I see it a lot, but it's also because those are my friends. Like I have a few friends that live in boats.
Tell me a little bit about your interest in games development then. Where did that sort of come from?
I guess when it comes down to it, I'm just kind of a nerd and I like computers and I like games, and someday it just kind of happened. I just looked up a YouTube tutorial on making a game and it just kind of became a hobby then, and I kept it up for the last 10 years or so. Yeah.
Lente has bounced in and out of college courses, but is largely self-taught and motivated, having dabbled in Python, JavaScript, Unity, and most recently, Godot. In 2018, she made $60 with an idle clicker game and thus started her humble journey into professional game development. She went back to college to study programming for a time, but when she started to get a small following online, she decided to risk it all to work full-time on her first proper Steam release, the game that would eventually turn into Spilled.
Hey peeps, a quick update. I've spent the last 2 weeks brainstorming and prototyping ideas for the game. It's been a bit of a difficult process, completely changing the game multiple times, but here's a little preview of what I have now. It's a little prototype where you have to clean up the ocean from oil spills. It still needs some work, but I really like the idea.
And then eventually, like a month after, something like clicked, like, hey, what if I keep going on this Twitter thing, get a following, start making a project, and then maybe I can, get a commercial game released. That'd be pretty sick. And that did motivate me eventually, after some months of saving up my college loan, to quit the school and focus fully on making this game. I didn't know what I was doing or what I was going to make at first, so I spent like another good month just prototyping and worrying, like, I just quit school, did I make a mistake? But then the idea for Spilled came, or at least the idea of cleaning up oil spills with a boat, because of course I didn't know anything about like the scope or the design yet. I don't know, you know when you have like a good idea and you just get like a wow feeling, as I like to call it, and you just kind of know like, hey, this is something. So I had to follow it.
Hey, in this video I'll show you how I went from this to this. This is my game Spilled, where you play as a little boat cleaning up oil spills. You can deliver your oil to a recycling facility to get coins and upgrade your boats. You can then venture out further into the world and tackle bigger and worse oil spills. You can wishlist it on Steam right now and sign up to my newsletter to receive the game demo.
Like most indie devs in 2025, Lente was also going to have to market this game herself to get the word out. She shared updates on social media and even filmed some devlogs on her YouTube channel. Lente built that small following and eventually kickstarted Spilled, which earned her enough cash to focus on the game and attract some online collaborators to help with areas she wasn't as experienced in. The most notable of these collaborations being with the graphics. Her early designs had a pixel art style, but later she was approached by a tech artist called Starby, who wanted to help Spilled be even more eye-catching.
I think after the Kickstarter, he reached out to me like, hey, I really believe Spilled can look a lot better. And we decided on making like a little demo version to see how I like it. And immediately it was just, wow, so good. Like, pixel art I had was basically just a low resolution, which can look great for games, but if you want actual pixel art, there's a lot of tricks you need to know about, like color palettes. The pixels need to snap. One pixel in the world is not actually one pixel on your screen, of course. So when the character moves or the boat moves, it kind of jitters if you don't have the right systems in place. A lot of shader stuff to just get it look nice. Then there's Sergey, who did the music for the game, and eventually also some sounds. I don't know, I believe he calls himself an amateur composer, but the music is pretty good.
While Lente and Starby worked on the graphics, the majority of the models themselves were pulled from free asset libraries or made by friends and family. The key to Spilled's art style was getting all of these different models to feel like a cohesive, intentional look, and not a cheap asset flip.
So there's this website, poly.pizza, I think. It's just a library of like free assets. And then there's Kenny, of course. He's also Dutch, just makes free assets, and it's great. And if you know how to use them properly and get them all to kind of work together nicely in one style, it can really work. There's a great TikTok or YouTube short by Samyam, who did a similar approach using free assets, or assets at least. She put some kind of shader on all of them to make them like kind of round out. So it was pretty blocky, but then she modified the asset thing to make it look unified. I don't know if you want me to talk about like the wish listing throughout the project, but at the start it just was mostly from Twitter. Never super crazy, maybe at best like a few hundred wish lists in a day from like a viral post, and that would be a really viral post. But eventually I got into third-party Steam events, in part because of the Twitter organizers see it and see like, hey, there's interest for this game, and then showcases like Wholesome Direct, and the game had about 65,000 wishlists at launch. Really great, really nice. But, like, I could never have imagined like all of these numbers like when I started, and just so great, seeing all those people just help. It's good, yeah.
Especially when you're on your own working on the game, I'm sure. It's nice to know that there are people out there.
Even more so. Yeah, because it does get sometimes a little tough, maybe. Like, I'm just at home, right? Working on a thing all the time. Eventually I had some team members, but it's like you talk to them with an update and then you both just kind of work in quiet. So it's not like going to an office or a space where you actually work together with people.
Spilled has been a success for Lente and for Starby, who gets a rev share of each game's sale. But it seems to me like the work required has left her pretty burnt out. Right now she's learning Godot thanks to the return of Brackeys and his latest tutorial series on the open source engine. And as part of this learning process, she's put out a 2D platformer called Godino on itch that you can play for free right now. But when she talks about her next commercial project, it's with a degree of trepidation, perhaps even anxiety.
It's funny because people look at the game and think like it's already short. But it still took me a little over 2 years, so I should have started out making even smaller games, probably. But then also I was so set on getting it to work, having just quit school. I wanted something that could be sustainable. No, I think about this all the time. Like, I get jealous of people like musicians or, artists. They can just make something in sometimes an afternoon, and they will have an actual thing that they can look at and be like, wow, I made this. But it was worth it. And like all that time I could post to my Twitter and stuff, and have a lot of fun with it. Just have a lot of fun with it. Yeah. I was okay with not having anything happen for a long time. Like, this is what I wanted to do. I was just set on, I just want to do this. I'm gonna make it work. I don't care how long it's gonna take. But the first project already went so well. With those really small projects, like the tutorial or like doing a game jam, I do see like, I love this. I love game development, and it's great. So I just need to figure out my way to do it. I'll get there.